Right now at 4, loosening restrictions, but not the mask mandate. The plan going forward in New Orleans to reach herd immunity.
Even as more Americans get vaccinated, there are still some who aren't signing up or aren't showing up. I'm Bree Jackson in Washington with the latest push to get shots in arms.
The NFL draft starts this evening, and when it comes to the New Orleans Saints, expect the unexpected. I'm Fletcher Macklin, and I'll have a live report telling you what the black and gold may do this evening.
But first, before we begin with breaking news, the State Department of Health says it confirmed Louisiana's first Brazilian variants of COVID-19. They detected one case in New Orleans and the other in southwest Louisiana. The State Department of Health says neither of the people indicated a history of travel and neither are vaccinated. The health department says there is data suggesting the Brazilian variant has a higher risk of severe illness, but the current COVID-19 vaccines, they say, are effective against this strain. So that is why they are encouraging you, if you haven't already, to go ahead and get your shot. This afternoon's other top story is some unhappy bar owners. New Orleans city leaders plan to loosen restrictions a little more.
What are your thoughts on the mayor not allowing bars to serve past 1 a.m.?
I think it's ridiculous.
So gathering sizes in New Orleans will increase starting tomorrow, but bars and restaurants still cannot serve alcohol past 1 in the morning. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Christina Watkins.
And I'm Travers Mackle. WDSU's Aubrey Killian live in New Orleans. And Aubrey, what is the one thing the mayor says needs to happen to loosen up some of these restrictions, just like the rest of the state?
Well, Mayor Cantrell made it very clear today. If you want to see restrictions loosened up, get the shot. So take a look. Let me walk you through the details of the restrictions that did, in fact, loosen up. They are all set to loosen up tomorrow. So again, starting tomorrow, most New Orleans businesses, they can operate at 100% capacity. Masks and social distancing are still required. Gathering sizes are higher. 250 people are allowed indoors, 500 outdoors at gatherings, but bars and restaurants, they still will not be allowed to serve alcohol past 1 a.m. Dancing at a bar or club is still not allowed. I spoke with the general manager, that's at Oz Dance Club. She's got to put her performers behind a screen, and she wants to operate past 1 a.m.
I don't think that COVID goes to bed, or comes out rather, 1 o'clock in the morning. My biggest frustration with the hours and the changes is that the mayor has not communicated directly with the hospitality community, given us any heads up. We're already working with skeleton crews trying to rebuild the industry, which is one of the largest employers in our parish and largest tax base for the city. And we've been treated like second-class citizens.
Because we're safe. We're safer. We're the safest in the state of Louisiana. And when you look at the country, we're a safe community. And we want to continue on that path. We're not there yet. We're still in the midst of a pandemic. It's having an impact on our economy, no doubt. But if we want to come out of this and be better, it's going to be through the vaccinations. And so
far, about 36% of the city is fully vaccinated. Mayor Cantrell says she wants to see that number at 75%. Reporting live in New Orleans, I'm Aubrey Killian, WDSU News.
Aubrey, thank you. City and state leaders stress even though things are opening back up, you still have to be careful and stay safe. COVID-19 impacts all of us, and please take a look at these numbers today from the State Department of Health. 574 new cases, bringing us to more than 457,000 cases total, and sadly, 9 additional deaths to report. That brings the death toll to just over 10,000. And let's take a look at the hospitalizations statewide right now. 308 patients are in hospitals across Louisiana. 52 of them are on ventilators. The governor is speaking right now about the American Rescue Plan. Louisiana is going to be getting $1.6 billion, half of what's allocated for the state. $400 million will be going to replenish the state's unemployment insurance trust fund, and another $400 million will go to infrastructure projects. Coming up at 4:30, we'll tell you where else the money is going and why the governor says these projects are priorities for the state so Louisiana can get past this pandemic. Christina?
Well, all new today at 4, Travers, one New Orleans pharmacy is making sure our city's homeless population has whatever opportunity they need to get a vaccine. You have to look at this video. H&W Drugstore has been administering vaccines for a while now, and the owner, Rustin Henry, said he actually got a call from the first city court clerk, that's Austin Badon, his fellow Purple Knight, graduated from St. Aug, asking to help vaccinate the homeless community. So today, they were out and about under the bridge at O.C. Haley Boulevard to put shots in arms for some of the most vulnerable.
We've decided that we cannot leave these people behind, and we want to make sure that we offer them this vaccine.
We have capability of vaccinating up to 300-400 people if we need to. So this is going to be the first of many we're going to do.
Henry said H&W Drugstore will try to do this once a month just to try and make sure they take care of the city's homeless population. Speaking of vaccines, look at this. Medical workers administered 2.6 million doses so far statewide. 1.4 million of you already started the vaccine series. And this number you're looking at right here, it keeps going up as well. 1.2 million people across our state are fully vaccinated. For comparison here, though, 4.6 million people live right here in Louisiana.
A critical new phase in the fight against COVID-19 figures show vaccinations have dropped from record highs of 3 million per day in April to 2.5 million last week. And while some Americans are still hesitant to get that shot, that's not the only challenge. Correspondent Bree Jackson in Washington with the very latest.
Well, more than 230 million vaccine doses have been administered so far this year. And despite the progress we've seen, doctors worry that the country's vaccination rates may hit a wall.
Go get vaccinated, America.
President Biden stressing the importance of vaccinations during his speech to a joint session of Congress, as officials emphasize those shots are a key to returning to normal. Like in New York, where the mayor's aiming to reopen the city by July.
This is exactly how we get to the full reopening we're all looking forward to. So remember, everyone, if you have not gotten vaccinated, today is the perfect day.
But doctors say hesitancy remains a hurdle. And it's not just those who aren't signing up, it's about those who aren't showing up. Researchers say nearly 8% of Americans missed their second shot.
By human nature alone, there's always a certain percentage of people who for one reason or other don't come back for the second shot.
In order to keep up the momentum, some communities are turning to incentives. West Virginia plans to offer young people money.
We're going to give a $100 savings bond to every single one that steps up and takes their vaccines.
White House officials tell me supplies aren't the issue. There's plenty of vaccine for everyone. The focus has now shifted to increasing vaccine confidence and access.
Making sure we're reaching people who are worried about access, they don't know where to go, they're worried about taking a day off of work, and that's really the phase we're going to be in for the next few months.
And just this week, the Department of Health and Human Services announced a new campaign aimed at increasing vaccine confidence. It includes working with trusted local organizations like Meals on Wheels to host vaccination clinics at senior centers. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson.
Bree, thank you. According to the CDC, nationally, 82% of people over 65 and more than half of the adults have received at least one dose of the vaccine.
And speaking of seniors, a new study shows the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are highly effective when it comes to protecting older adults. And it could even lead to reductions when it comes to post-COVID conditions and even death. So this new study is coming from the CDC, and it shows this. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccines reduce risk of hospitalization by 94%. That's among fully vaccinated adults 65 and up. The study also shows it could result in fewer post-COVID conditions and death. Leaders hope more incentives just like this one will help convince more of you to get a vaccine.
We're seeing people in the elderly group, the number of hospitalizations and deaths going way down. It's all as a result of vaccination.
And the CDC study also found the vaccines were 64% effective on partially vaccinated people within that age group, meaning they've only gotten one dose of either the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine so far. So WDSU was making it so easy for you to get a vaccine if you haven't gotten one yet. Here's what you can do right now. Go ahead and get out your phone, open your camera, point it right at this QR code on your screen. When you do that, a link will pop up in a matter of seconds and it'll take you to a guide we created just for you.
All right, let's talk weather, taking a live look outside. That is the city of New Orleans, and it was a little hot today. For more on that, let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr. Margaret, summer is definitely nearing.
Oh, it is approaching. That's why I like to hang on to these cold fronts. But it's gorgeous outside. Look at that. Now, you know, you're saying it hot. Look, high temperature 88. Granted, the average high is 81. My feeling is it's not hot until it hits 90. You know, when you grow up in New Orleans, that's when it starts to get hot. All right, here is a look. We did hit 88 degrees, and right now it's 88. Look, the feels like temperature 93. Remember, I said it would get up to 93 today. Hammond is 86, feeling like 89. Slidell, 86. Feeling like 90, Homa 84, feeling like 91 because that humidity is so high. So yeah, it's kind of toasty out, right? Well, we've got a brief cool down coming. I'll tell you about that coming up.
The NFL draft starts tonight, but the football rumor mill started churning early this morning, and the Saints are right in the middle of all of that talk. Joining us now from the team's headquarters in Metairie, sports anchor Fletcher Mackel. Fletcher, a lot to talk about when it comes to the Saints.
Yeah, absolutely, Travers. The New Orleans Saints are always aggressive when it comes to the NFL draft. Since Sean Payton arrived in 2006 and started working with longtime team general manager Mickey Loomis, they have traded up 20 different times in the NFL draft, 3 different times in the first round alone, and all indications are that they will try to trade up tonight in the first round. So who could they be targeting? And that is a very interesting question. Check this out. A player that has strong ties to the city of New Orleans and the New Orleans Saints. Fans watching right now no doubt remember one of the greatest wide receivers in Saints history, Hollywood Joe Horn, a Saints Hall of Famer, a charismatic and productive player. Well, his son is one of the top players, one of the top defensive players in the 2021 draft. University of South Carolina defensive back J.C. Horn. If the Saints trade up, they need a cornerback. Sean Payton has said that. So the team could go up and actually get Joe Horn's son. J.C. Horn is in Cleveland tonight where the draft is being held, and he was asked about his emotions leading up to the pick. How will he react when he's selected by whichever NFL team chooses him?
I don't know how I'm going to feel. You know, I'm not a real emotional guy. And like I said, it's crazy that we here, but it's some part of me that still feels like, you know, all of this was supposed to happen. So when I hear my name called, I don't know what type of reaction I'm gonna give. You know, I feel like I'm not gonna cry. I feel like I'm gonna just kind of be like how I am now, but everybody around me be like, nah, man, it's gonna hit you. So we'll see.
The Saints trading up to acquire Joe Horn's son would just be a tremendous storyline. Now, the other big story out of the NFL today, the Packers and quarterback Aaron Rodgers supposedly or reportedly could be breaking up. Rodgers wants out of Green Bay, but Saints fans don't exactly go celebrating a possible marriage here in New Orleans between the Saints and Aaron Rodgers. Reportedly, he wants to go to either the 49ers, the Broncos, or the Las Vegas Raiders. More on the draft coming up at 5 o'clock. For now, live in Metairie, I'm Fletcher Mackel, WDSU News.
Fletcher, thank you. Still ahead, lawsuit filed. Who's being taken to court over this incident on the Crescent City connection last year? It's a WDSU Investigates follow-up. Plus, a life-saving option now available for just about anybody. Why Narcan's expanded availability means for the opioid crisis in one parish. And as we're going to break, a live look at traffic on this Thursday afternoon. The afternoon commute moving along pretty nicely right there.